many people, when they think of the word yoga, they think of the physical postures, the exercises of yoga. But Swamiji and Babaji belong to a different school of yoga. So can Babaji start by just explaining and talking about what that yoga is in this lineage?
Yeah, since ancient times, India had two types of yoga schools. One is by performing exercises which are known as asanas, postures, in fact, of the body, and then slowly come to meditation eventually. That was the one. The other one is directly into meditation and enabling the mind to merge with the self. That school is. So we belong to this second school, where like my master did a 12 years tapas of making the mind to become totally quiet and merge with the self, thus by gaining a self-realization. And from him we learnt and we got initiated into meditation and eventual tapas. So this is the school that we belong. Both yoga schools are there. So yoga means union with the origin. See, in body exercises when you perform, the body is supposed to be healthier. If its health gets disturbed, it is viyoga, away from its origin. And if you perform such asanas and can keep the body as healthy as possible, then that is the yoga for body. But body has its own limitations, we all know. No matter however you try, finally one day it has to become old or ill also and go, perish. So this is the one thing. So that is what the yoga means. Like here, the mind, as long as it is the mind, it is in viyoga, away from its origin. So that's what the mind is, away from the self. Now our efforts should be to make the mind to go back to the self. So that is the yoga.
Thank you, Babaji. So could we say that ultimately it's because we have this habit, the consciousness has a habit to think that we are away from the yoga?
When the consciousness imagines, it goes away from itself. So that is how since time immemorial, with the mind's imagination, an individual imagined self has formed which does not really exist, which we call it as the ego self, coming away in illusion only, means in its conscious imagination only it has come away, long distance. So it has so deeply forgotten about itself. Here the distance means not the physical distance that this happens in an illusion, in the consciousness. It has come away so far in illusion, in its imagination, that it has forgotten its real self. To go back, it has to overcome so many obstacles, as many as it has come away from itself because of the imagination. Like for example, every time you reincarnate, you are born, you acquire imaginations and further imprints throughout the life. The mind has a tendency to recognize an object, incident, or this world or anything. Then it analyzes. Go, what is this? Why is this? This is mine, not mine? I want, like that it analyzes and makes a judgment. Yeah, this is good, this is bad. Like that it judges. Once it judges, that imprint is absorbed. That I call it as the acquired habits of the mind. Due to this, when it acquires the next incarnation, it goes further away from its real self. Means forgetting itself further. It forgets further. It forgets further, like that every incarnation it happens. Like that it keeps forgetting. And whatever it comes across in imagination, it starts considering and firmly believing and getting carried away with that imagination as the fundamental reality or the truth. So that is what has happened. That is the Viyoga that has happened.
Thank you, Babaji. So the quality that the consciousness has to imagine, it's quite an extraordinary thing. Could Babaji give an insight into the imagination? Because the droplet comes out of the ocean, but the ocean remains intact. It's unaffected. But somehow the droplet has gotten involved in an imagination. Babaji, talk about that.
So in a general, scriptures also talk about the beginning of creation, something like this. But I will explain in a conceptual way so that everybody can understand. The ultimate truth that is recognized as either divinity or the Parabrahman, whatever it is simply all pervaded and exists in itself. That is known as existing in Mahasamadhi, supreme stillness, in supreme peace, without any imagination, nothing, it just exists. From that, an enormous consciousness arose. Compared to the ultimate truth, Parabrahman, that enormous consciousness also is just a droplet, like a droplet in the ocean. It imagined. When it imagined, it was known as the concepts of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Means the imagination, that creativity got created. But when the Brahma concept created, it did not get involved mentally. No mind arose there. It did not got converted into mind. Further imaginations. It simply created and left it there to spin on its own and remained in itself. Like the Vishnu concept is sustenance of this imagination for long time. And Shiva is the concept of withdrawal back into the self. So all the three remained in the self. When it remained in the self, it did not become corrupted. It remained as the divinity. That's why these three concepts are worshipped as the three trinities in the Hindu philosophy. So this is what happened. But after that, see, the next generation, angels are told about in the legendary stories. But when the angels come, they are shown as insecure, had to fight with the demonic forces all the time. That means the imagination did not go back to the self. It remained into imagination. So we can tell, thus slowly the corruption started. Corruption means in the form of insecurity about the existence and wanting supremacy, wanting to overcome the other. All these things were there. After that, slowly, generation means next incarnation. By the time we have come into the human being, you can imagine how much that consciousness that was pure divinity has become so corrupted. Corrupted because once the imagination started, that imagination refused to die down because of the consciousness losing control over itself and allowing that imagination to go on and on and on and on, never ending process like that one. It did not do any exercise, did not undertake any exercise to control itself, to restrain itself. Instead, it went on considering whatever the imagination came, that as the fundamental reality. So then it got carried away further. So like that, the consciousness has come so long way, which is known as the mind. Now on this earth is just a droplet, another droplet of the illusion. This earth, so many species, so many variety of, so people tell 84 lakhs and 55,000 life cycles, so many counts have been given for these things. So they are all there. So if the consciousness getting hidden in so many other, all animals and every creature, then finally comes into human being, because Only the human body has the well-developed brain, which is another amazing biological organ which enables the mind to think. When it thinks, it can think properly or improperly. Now it is for the mind to use the brains. If it can use, it can think properly. Otherwise, it can be thinking improperly. The discrimination power is there. It can use it. What is real? What is unreal? What is permanent? What is impermanent? Like this, it has to discriminate. So then it has to get into an exercise. It has to learn what exercise can make me become quiet and go back to myself. What distance have I come? So that depends on the amount of imaginations and habits that it has acquired since time immemorial. You cannot measure, you cannot weigh or tell that it has acquired 75 kgs of imagination. It is not like that. It is inexplicable. That is the power of illusion that has happened. So now a guru teaches, once he has experienced the truth, then the magics of the mind one needs to overcome, meditate, practice quietness. The soon that you can give up your ego means the I, imagined self, and tries to shift your attention to that real self. So that's what has to happen. That's what the yoga marga means, the path of yoga. That's what means, which can take you to reunite to your real self. You who have come as the droplet a long distance in imagination need to go back because you are looking for peace and happiness. That is available only when you go back to self, not till then. So these are some of the points on the yoga, why the sadhana is start, how the yoga can happen, why this is called yoga. Yoga marga means the path of yoga.
There is a quote from the Yoga Vasista that it says, non-thinking is known as yoga. Remaining in that state, perform appropriate actions. So Babaji always talks about, whatever way of life we've adopted, simply carry on, practice the meditation, but also think of what we're doing as a duty. Don't have any expectation of a reward or ego that I am doing this particular action. Can Babaji talk about how we achieve yoga through this path as well?
Yeah. When the mind is not thinking anything, definitely that is in yoga. Whenever it is silent, so now the conscious has come out of its origin. If it becomes quiet, it starts going towards its real self. If it imagines, it comes out. If it imagines, it remains out only. So now, in this world, one has to live. As long as the body is alive, there are certain fundamental things that needs to be done, whether you like or not. Like food to sustain your physical body. Whether you like or you don't like, you have to earn a livelihood. You have to earn your food. For that, every creature struggles, including human being. We have to have. While doing so, we may need to use our imaginations. When we simply use our imagination to think, it really doesn't matter much. Because after the imagination, once we get into the action through the body, when the mind induces, if we allow the mind further, then it jumps into the anxiousness of the future, or it remains brooding about the past. It doesn't become quiet. What if it happens? What if it doesn't happen? Oh God, what will happen to me if I don't earn any livelihood? I will die, or what will happen? Just leave it to the divine. It's okay, no problem. If at all we have to leave, the divine will give. If it doesn't give, he finishes, let it happen, it's over. Like that, acceptance means I am trying to teach the acceptance. You try whatever you want to achieve. You want to achieve your livelihood in whichever way that is possible. You want to help somebody in this world, or you want to do anything. You do that. But do not allow the mind to go further into anxiousness. If it remains in that imaginations, then you remain quiet. Accept. That is what is told. Acceptance. Even in Bhagavad Gita, also Sri Krishna talks, you have a right to put in action. Now you all think logically, scientifically, technically, in any way you want to think. You have a right to put an effort. You want to come and meditate, that you have a right and you must do that one. After that, when the results come, it is not in your hands. You have put an effort and you have to wait for the results to happen. When the self-realization comes, that is the result. You have to wait for that. Accept that one. Then you won't get disturbed. So many people get agitated. Oh, I'm not able to meditate properly. The meditation is not coming good. Don't bother. First thing important, don't bother about it. It will come. Assure yourself and just remain quiet. In the same way in this world also, whatever work, whatever desire, whatever you need to do, you do everything. Wait. When the result comes, accept. If it doesn't happen, we try again. We try again. We try again. That's why it is. Like I always try and keep trying without bothering, simply accepting whoever comes in front of us. We try to teach meditation, what they achieve, what they don't achieve, whether any transformation comes in them or doesn't happen at all. Whatever happens, we don't give up trying. I keep trying and then I accept. I accept this is what they have not yet achieved. No problem. They will achieve one day when it is their time. My job is to teach them, guide them, motivate. So that is what the karma yoga. Then also your mind can remain in yoga, in the quietness. It will simply accept. Whatever is happening in the world, it is acceptable. You can try to change the world. That is no problem. If there is a war, conflict, try to stop the conflict. Try to achieve peace. But don't get disturbed yourself. That is the simple thinking. You accept it. Like a doctor, you attend to the patient. Whatever happens, if the patient survives, that is good. If he doesn't survive, you cannot help. You have tried your best. You need to remain satisfied so that you can attend the next patient. See, if a student fails, I cannot afford to become mad. I will have to accept it. Some other student will be waiting for my guidance, for my attention, all these things. So I have to attend to other students who are in need of me. So if somebody has not achieved, I just still continue to tell them, whoever comes. So that is the acceptance. That's what Vasistha also talks. Then the mind is quiet. If the mind is quiet, it is automatically in yoga. That quietness. That's what even Adi Shankara also tells. When your consciousness is face to the truth, and when your consciousness is not into any type of imagination, means when it is totally quiet, know that existence as the truth. That is the yoga. That means it is in yoga. Otherwise it is in viyoga.
So Babaji, quietness in the mind is the most important thing, rather than anything that's happening in the world, whatever it might be. If our mind is quiet,
yes, the more, the longer, forever that you can keep your mind quiet. That's what a yogi would have achieved. When he is talking, he is doing anything, he might be eating, he might be dancing, he might be sitting in a corner, doing anything. His consciousness is ever silent one. That is in yoga. So that's when he simply waits for the body to get dropped one day.
Babaji, the types of yoga, bhakti, devotion, karma yoga, service, ultimately, do they all become dhyana, your attention to the self in their highest form?
Yes. So everywhere dhyana is necessary, along with the karma yoga, bhakti yoga, anything. Because that is the thing which brings your mind to the attention of its real self eventually. Several, like bhakti yoga is there. I have told, due to imagination, the mind has gone out of control. Now using the same imagination, You try to make the mind as single pointed as possible and bring it back towards the self, slowly, slowly. To begin with, like you imagine a formation of a god, form of a god. This is God. It might be an idol, it might be a photo, or it might be a human figure, it might be anything, or it might be the sky, depending on what appeals to you. So you fall in love with that one. That means your attention is there. So you pour all your emotions, bhava, that is the bhakti marga. So you try to tap your emotions single pointedly towards that deity by doing several exercises like worshipping, undertaking any ritual that is possible for you. That is my opinion. There should not be any imposition that the ritual has to be only this. Means you can take a camphor and do arati. If there is no camphor, you can take a flower and offer the flower. If there is nothing, you just fold your hands, pray through your mind also is good enough for the worship. The mind's application is important. So you are paying your attention. Thus you are making the mind single pointed. Means your attention is becoming single pointed. Thus your dhyana, your meditative, that mind, instead of going attentive to millions of thoughts, it is simply attentive to one thought. Finally, by the help of the Guru, you abandon that thought also. You will be able to do that one by the guidance or the grace of the Guru or God. Then the mind simply becomes quiet. Mind has to become quiet. So here also your dhyana is important, means your attention. Attention on the deity is important, not the exercise itself. Along with the exercise, you are expected that your mind gets applied there. Like putting your eyesight on me is the exercise. Along with that exercise, your mind is also expected to be on me. That is your job, important. If you are unable to bring the mind on to me, if you are simply putting your eyeballs to me, for others it might appear you are paying attention, but you are not actually paying attention to what I am trying to teach. No, that is the yoga. That's what the yoga. Bhakti yoga is one important thing. Karma yoga I have already explained to you. The mind's acceptance. When the mind is accepts, it becomes quiet, it recedes, it doesn't get agitated, it doesn't becomes mad, it doesn't go into an anger or frustration, dejection, nothing happens, it is quiet, it's okay. Hey, it has not happened, it's fine, no problem. Suddenly, a wife packs up her suitcase and leaves the husband. I am leaving you, I am going. It's okay, no problem. Like that, everything in the world should be simply acceptable. If that is possible, then you can have the karma yoga. You are into yoga, though you are in active world, you are a karmic person, means you are into action, but yet you remain unaffected. That is the karma yoga like this. Dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, you want to acquire knowledge through others' experiences, through reading a book. Upanishads are there, scriptures are there, commentaries are there. All these books, like when you read Yoga Vasistha, you try to acquire knowledge. Oh, this is what Vasistha tells, this is the knowledge. And if there is a guru who can explain to you further, elaborate, oh, this is the knowledge. Then further, you have to pay attention to what the knowledge says. That is important. You have to acquire that wisdom also, awareness. The knowledge says, your mind has to become quiet. Now, dhyana is important to make that mind quiet. So these two things has to go together. Jnana and dhyana. Knowledge and meditation. So meditation is everywhere, means attention, mental attention. You become quiet or you pay attention to single pointed and then become quiet. So that's what it is. When I talk, you have to become quiet, that is knowledge. Then you meditate according to my instructions. Then you become quiet, then you achieve yoga.
Wow, thank you, Babaji. At the end of the meditation, Babaji always gives the chant from the Guru Gita. And a part of that is Kevalam Jnana Murtim, so the knowledge personified. What does this mean? The personification of knowledge. You become knowledge.
He has merged with that self for which the whole world is trying. Whoever is on the spiritual path is trying. That knowledge, he has become that. Means he has become quiet. In his consciousness, he is totally quiet. That is what is knowledge personified. Is the nearest English translation we can go. Kevalam Jnanamurti is only in that self. He is always in that. Through that knowledge that everybody is trying to acquire, that awareness.
Thank you, Babaji. So to ask a question about a yogi, someone who has acquired the yoga, the state of yoga. So Babaji has said before that yoga is going from an unnatural state back to a natural state. Like watching a movie, we get sucked into the movie thinking it's happening to us. But for a yogi, does this world then seem like a movie, like a make-believe, a dream sort of state?
Yes. The mind is now totally withdrawn and remains quiet. That is what is known as, when a yogi is moving in the body, he is only a witness to this world. Because through the eyes he is able to see this world. Because he is seeing through one illusion and to the another illusion. This body itself is within the illusion. Through that illusion, he is able to see this illusion. Like in the dream also, what you are seeing is illusion. What you have, the scene that you are seeing is also illusion. So though the dream is true, but the things that are in the dream are all nothing there. In the same way, he just vaguely as a dream state, he just gets to see this world, but his mind is quiet. He doesn't judge us. He doesn't analyze us. He doesn't make what this world is. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't think anything about this. This world is there. This I have also told in the recent talks. In reality, nobody in this world or anywhere knows what this universe. Everybody has imagined about this universe. We have imagined this globe as earth, planet. We have told it is planet. Like that, every terminology is an imagined terminology for sake of understanding and communication in this world. A mango is useful to communicate in this world. So that is simply an imagination. We have imagined it as a mango, so that is why it is mango. But don't know what it is. I hope you all are getting what I am trying to convey. The entire world is there. You have called it a planet, that is why it is planet for you. If from some other world somebody else is calling this earth as something else, that something is for them. Like in one language, one person tells ki this is water. Another person comes and tells in his language, this is jal. If they both start fighting, no, this is water, it cannot be jal. He says, no, it cannot be water, it is only to be jal. Isn't it ridiculous? For the one who has imagined it as water, it is water. For the another who has imagined it as jal, it is jal for him. That is how good and bad. One man's food is another man's poison.
So Babaji has overcome all of these imprints in the mind to identify things in different ways, but Babaji is still able to operate in the world somehow. You know, Babaji's droplet has merged with the ocean. However, somehow it's now able still to operate through a brain and a body.
In reality, I have become quiet, whereas no other person can understand this effect. No other person can make any judgment. Only the one who has achieved only knows that awareness. Well, now I am playing a drama in this world. The thing that I have appeared as a guru is also only a drama. in imagination only. I'm really not a guru. I'm really not a student. I'm really not teaching. Yet I'm doing the drama of teaching, telling, giving clues to people what you have to do to achieve what I have achieved. This is what you have to do. That every individual has to do. Nobody else can do it for you. Your mind has to become quiet. Only you have to do it. Nobody else can stop your mind like this. For this also I have jokingly told, when people have asked a question about miracles, if anybody can wave their hand like this and give peace to humanity, first humanity, we will think about other creatures afterwards, everything else afterwards. That day I will consider that as a real wonder and miracle. But every individual has to put an effort. This is what Vasishtha also tells. You have to put effort. That is Purushartha. Means your effort with all the determination, courage, hang on to it, remaining that one. That has to happen. So like that, I am just playing a role. Mentally, I am not considering that I have become a guru or somebody is doing my pada puja, somebody is doing me, or somebody suddenly says, criticizes ki, you are not this, you are that, and you are tell this. So that's what happens. I am just quiet. Okay, no problem. You want to call me a guru, it's all right. You don't want to call me, you want to call me a friend, it's all right. You don't want to call me anything, just want to learn meditation. All right, no problem. I have no objection. That's what my guru also taught. Just I initiate you. You want to call me a friend or you want to call me a guru, it is up to you. So in that forum, I will play that role and teach you and help you. So like this, I play that role.
Thank you, Babaji. Can Baba talk a bit about Mahasamadhi? How is a yogi before Mahasamadhi different from a yogi in Mahasamadhi?
See, as long as the body is there, when the mind has totally become quiet, that means gain the awareness of the self, that is known as a Jivan Mukta. Means while alive, he is totally liberated one. He is not attached to anything in the mind. The mind is not getting involved anyway. But yet, because the body is there, as a witness, he is witnessing this world. That is why Jivan Mukta. Finally, when the body drops, becomes quiet, it is dead, what you all call, then this consciousness has no more imagination. It doesn't have anything to achieve, no desire, nothing else is there. Then it would merge with that ultimate truth, which is even beyond the self. The self is word used for sake of understanding again as an imagination in this world. So in that state you go beyond, simply become quiet. One single self that exists, as Ramana Maharshi told this sentence. Nearest clue, nearest imagination, simply one single self. What we call it as self, what you get an awareness as yourself, that consciousness is all that is totally quiet, simple and quiet. That is the supreme peace. You will all understand when you totally is able to be quiet, that is the best peace or happiness you will get. Not with an imagination of the peace, which will soon follow by an anxious thought. What if it loses? You have a car, you have a big ashram. Oh, this is mine, you want to become happiness. Somebody comes to snatch that property, this ashram. We will try to finish this Maharajji's. Swamiji, let him, we will drive him away. And they want to take the property. For them it is not ashram, it is only property. Then you are unhappy again. So you must not depend for anything. Just quiet. That gives happiness. Because nobody can rob. In our nursery school, first time I remember our teacher saying, when you acquire the right knowledge in life, remember nobody can rob that one. Anything else you acquire of this world, Anybody can rob you. Never expect that nothing will happen. Anytime anything can happen. That was such a great philosophical thing, now we can understand. So that is the thing, when you have the peace, when you are quiet, when you are peaceful, you have the peace. Who can rob that peace?
Hello, Baba. Very nice to see you. So I'm just trying to understand a little bit better about what part of an individual it is that actually achieves the yoga and achieves self-realization. Is it the ego, or because how is it that if there's only one supreme self, one real self, is us perceiving that another individual has already achieved that self-realization or achieved yoga, is that just our mind pointing us in that direction, or is it like what part of somebody?
Actually, the mind, because of its imagination, we recognize it as mind. And in this mind only, that ego also is there. About I, what am I? Like, I might have a name to Shivarudra Balayogi. What is this Shivarudra Balayogi? I have that in imagination. If I have that in imagination, I am Shivarudra Balayogi, then that becomes the ego. Because there is no Shivarudra Balayogi who exists. It is only in imagination. So that's what achieves when that becomes quiet, goes beyond Shivarudra Balayogi. It becomes quiet.
Okay, I think I got a little better understanding now. Thank you. I'm getting there.
Thank you, Babaji. So nice to see you again after so many days. Now you were saying, we are talking about the path of yoga. And in the Bhagavad Gita, in every chapter, he talks about be a yogi, be a yogi, practice yoga, practice in dispassion and things like that. So and he's talking about in the chapter 6, the last shloka, he says, you can be a tapasvi, a jnani, a karmi, but better than all of these are the yogi. So be a yogi, he's saying. So basically, when you do any other path, you're not completely merged. And therefore, a yogi is completely merged and he loses his identity. And therefore, it is the best to be a yogi. Is that correct?
You see, like a tapasvi, jnani means after all this, the result of all this is the yoga. So when you have achieved yogi, that is important. Don't simply remain as a tapasvi. You have to finish that tapas and you have to do that tapas so that the mind becomes quiet totally and merges with the self, becomes a yogi. That's what Krishna means. You become a yogi. That's what he is. Jnani, you are trying to acquire knowledge. You are reading, you are listening, you are doing all is good at a stage. After that, you have to become a yogi. You have to adopt those methods that you have come to know now what to do. So that is, now you are trying to acquire knowledge by asking a question to me. I will tell you mentally you have to become quiet. So now next is you have to become quiet and then only you will become a yogi. Until then you are trying to acquire knowledge. So that's what Shri Krishna means, become a yogi. Yogi is one who has merged with the self. He has done it. It's done.
So now, and the other thing that he keeps stressing in the Bhagavad Gita is devotion. He says, without devotion, nobody can achieve me. Even in chapter 11, he says, because you're so devoted, I'm impressed with your devotion, you were able to enter into me.
Sometimes it's likely that we misunderstand the meaning of devotion. Now, to meditate, you need to devote yourself to meditate. That is the devotion Krishna talks there. For whatever you want to achieve, you need to devote yourself. That's the devotee means. You see, you will love God in a particular forum or want to chant the name of God, worship that God, because you have become a devotee. Now you are ready to devote yourself to do that thing. So that is the devotion. Yes.
So basically, we are saying is that devotion is being completely immersed in that object.
Yes, immersed.
The
And
subject
into
and
that.
object have become one.
You are dedicated to that totally. Yes, they become one. You have dedicated yourself. Say you want to meditate, either you need to be devoted to that meditation or to the Guru or to God, any one thing. Then you devote yourself to do that, then you will do it. Otherwise, you won't like to do it.
So basically, it's the same then. Yogi and devotion is the same.
When you finish the devotion, then you become a yogi. When you have become yogi, you would have transcended all these things. To achieve yoga, you need to be a devotee. Once you have achieved, you have transcended that devotional part. It's done. You have become one with it.
Okay, so that these are very subtle differences to understand, right?
Yes, very.
And the other thing is that I was thinking, all these different paths lead to a silence, a quietness. Whether you're doing meditation, whether you're doing breathing pranayama, for instance, and then you observe, and then you reach a silence, and then when you're doing nadopasana, which is sound,
Anything.
Omkar, you end in a silence. So that is the same thing.
Yes, meaning of all this is the same. Two important points. Either you become silent directly, or first giving up millions of thoughts, try to become single pointed into one thought, then abandon that thought and become silent. But finally, it is the silence that you have to achieve.
Pranam Babaji, you had mentioned earlier tonight that Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are in the world, but not attached to it, not bound by it. Whereas the angels, or in Sanskrit, the Devas, they're attached to the world. But there's another group, the Rishis, that seem to also be in the world, but because they're Rishis, they're acting, at least their leader is acting as if they're also not attached. What is the status of the Rishis?
Yeah, those who are not attached to the world, they would have become quiet in the mind, and they are like yogis. Though different titles have been given, Rishi, Maharishi, etc., actually if they have achieved self-realization, they are the yogi. They have become one with the self. So that's what it is. Whoever has achieved that, they have become one with the self. They are also simply a witness. They are not getting involved. So that is why in Yoga Vasistha tells those who have achieved self-realization is worthy of worshipping. He tells, I am not asking anybody to worship me or worship anybody else. In the Yoga Vasistha Ramayana, at one place Vasistha tells. So that means they are like become one with the divine. They are adored like a divinity.
So it seems that even at the beginning of creation, or soon after, along with Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, there are also other angels or devas, we can say, who act like rishis. So even from the beginning, we have the Sanat Kumaras and Vasishta and those. Is that correct?
Yes, there are so many. There can be any number. So I just tried to be as short as possible to give about the yoga exactly. That's why I simply mentioned some clues and examples. And all these things are there. It is on and on. Whoever has achieved self, like Sanaka Sananda are known as the Brahma Manasa Putra, who achieved the first yogis. They are considered the first yoga through the teaching, silent teaching of Dakshinamurti. So always a guru is considered equivalent to the Dakshinamurti type. So whoever teaches the silence. So like that, it is there. It is all there.